it is a very good experience.
Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very good today, and you?
No, I'm doing good. Thank you so much. Let's get on to it. When did you first meet hurdles as an athlete?
So I started doing hurdles since under 9. We at primary school we were running at school in Petersburg. We were running chocolade atletiek, and then um, it was our first race, and then we just went, and then everything started there.
And you've been to Sweden recently, showing the world what South Africa and the African continent is made up of, coming out a victor in the 400 meters hurdles competition. Talk to us about your trip to Sweden. How did it come about?
So Sweden was a bit unexpected. So after essays, we thought that we went into a rest phase because we thought the athletic season was done. And then Worldwide Scholarships messaged me and they asked if I wanted to go to Sweden to go participate further. And then we arranged with them, and then we went along with the team.
Interesting indeed. Talk to us a little bit about the worldwide scholarships, the work that they do in helping athletes to make it to the highest level, because these trips to Europe are often expensive trips, and it's always a good sign when you get to hear from people like Worldwide Scholarships coming on board to make certain that you make it in different competitions, especially international trips that do not come cheap.
Yeah, so Worldwide Scholarships, they gave us the opportunity to be able to go overseas to Sweden, but unfortunately we didn't have any sponsors or anything that could help us. So it was all we sponsored ourselves basically.
Interesting indeed. And talking about sponsoring yourself, who's your support structure in terms of your family?
So it was my mother and my dad was helping us, and then the whole community in Polokwane was helping. We had fundraisings, and at our schools, rugby and stuff. We were selling worsbroodjies and boereworsrolle, and everybody in Polokwane was helping out.
If you have just joined us, we are talking to our teenager in sport, a 400 meters hurdles champion, that is Johan Haadbroek, who recently did wonders in Sweden, representing South Africa and the African continent very well, triumphing in the 400 meters hurdles, clocking a time of 54.38 seconds. Let's talk about this impressive time that you've clocked, Johan. Is this your best so far, or are you still fighting to beat this one?
No, so at SIs I ran a better time than I ran in Sweden, but it was still a good time for me to run because I had a rest phase for a while. So I was a bit out of my exercising. So I think it was still a good beginning time for that time of the year.
And how do you explain the hurdles as a discipline to a young African who could be listening to this conversation with interest in athletics but not certain where to start?
So I think hurdles is one of the most, you need a lot of discipline to run hurdles because it's extra hours after training to practice your technique and your how you go over the hurdle and your steps in between. So I think with the hurdles it's a lot of extra work afterwards than just running.
And talking about hurdles, how's your calendar looking like for the rest of the year 2025?
So our first race this year is on the 19th of September. We're going to the Kira Podium in Pilbeach. Then that's our first race, and then we're going to the Villa Claver and Poch.
And in Limpopo, how do you rate the traffic when it comes to the busy schedule of athletics? Are we seeing athletes doing wonders from Limpopo as a province?
Yes, I think there are a lot of athletes that are doing wonders, but with the other sports, it's a bit hard for the athletes to focus just on running on the track. So sometimes the off-season programs are a bit hard to keep up with because we do other sports as well.
Any conversation with worldwide scholarships for a possible scholarship to go abroad?
Yes, we have talked with them, and we are still figuring out if it's possible for us to get a scholarship, maybe overseas as well. But we are still figuring out and checking if there's any opportunities here as well.
If you're involved in athletics, what other sporting code do you think you would be part of?
So I also play cricket. I was yesterday. I played a cricket game for hours for my school. RTS Tomnidi. I was playing. We were playing against Stanford, and if it isn't athletics, then I'm busy on the cricket field.
Johan Haadbroek is our teenager in sport, talking all things athletics, 15:09 Central African time. Johan, please do stay on the line. We take a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues with the 400 meters hurdles champion, Johan Haadbroek.
Zilipendwa na Abedi Jean de la Croix.
Wewe ni mjasiriamali unajihusisha na biashara ya kuuza dawa. Jaribu kutuambia kwanza, kwa nini ulianzisha biashara hiyo?
Tutasema kwamba maisha ya kila siku ni kwamba mtu anapaswa kuwa na maisha ya kuweza kujitegemea. Usitegemee kuajiriwa, lakini utegemee kujiajiri, na baadaye utaweza ukaajiri wengine. Na hiyo ilinipa msukumo mkubwa kwa kuweza kujiajiri na kampuni hii kwa ajili ya kuweza kuwasaidia wale ambao wanahangaika zaidi.
Unauza aina gani ya dawa?
Unasema ni dawa, lakini kwetu sisi tunaita kama vile ni pipi, ambayo ni virutubisho ambavyo vinakwenda kusaidia kwa wale ambao wanatatizwa na aina tofauti ya magonjwa.
Virutubisho hivyo sasa vinatibu magonjwa gani?
Virutubisho hivi vinatunza magonjwa kama vile ya kisukari, shinikizo la damu.
Zilipendwa kila Jumamosi kuanzia saa 12 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati hadi saa 1 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
Africa at Play with Neto Neto Chemane.
15:10 Central African time. If you have just joined us, a warm welcome to Africa at Play. We are together until 5 p.m. Central African time. We still have our teenager in sport, a 400 meters hurdles champion, Johan Haadbroek. Johan, you went to the Göteborg Youth Games in Sweden. Except for your performance on the track, what have you learned from Sweden?
So from Sweden, I've learned that there is a lot of different ways to get with transport. There's a lot of different transport than just with the cars or with a taxi. So we were riding scooters, the e-bikes they have, and then the trams.
Interesting indeed. And you also participate in cricket. Do you have your number one spot between 400 meters hurdles and cricket, or you love them both?
No, I love them both, but if I had to choose, I would choose the 400 hurdles over the cricket. Just because I have gotten further in the athletics than in the cricket.
Interesting indeed. And also in a high school setup, life is good there because sport is played according to different seasons. There's a season for cricket, there's a season for hockey, season for rugby, and many other sporting codes. Are you excited with that flexibility from a high school scenario point of view, where when it's the cricket season, like you played a cricket match recently representing your school, you are able to participate in cricket and then switch to athletics when it's time for athletics?
Yes, it is sometimes, I think the training is just hard because like the off-season training of the athletics is now, but it's also cricket season. So I think it's only the training that is hard, but the game times on the weekends and the running times on weekends are on different times of the year. So that is easier and more flexible for us. But the training is a bit difficult sometimes.
You also touched on the fact that to be able to achieve greatness in hurdles, you've got to be disciplined. And you also highlighted that it takes a lot of time in terms of preparations and training. Talk to us about how long it took you in preparation for the Göteborg Youth Games that took place in Sweden.
So after essays, we had 2 weeks of rest. And then from there, I was training each day, even on Saturdays, for like, I think it was 3 months for extra training afterwards, just to fall into the program again. Because I got a bit of a setback with the resting in between, and then we had to fall into the program hard again. So it was a lot of extra work afterwards as well, just to keep from getting stiff and injuries, to get as less injuries as we can.
Any elite hurdles champion or hero that you look up to?
So yes, I look up to Karsten Warholm and Rai Benjamin as well.
Why Kirsten Varan and Raj Benjamin?
Because there was a time where all the athletes ran the same time. So if you were running, all the good times were there, were the same, and then those both of them, they just exceeded the expectation of all the other athletes. They were running 2-3 seconds faster than each athlete in a short span, and they were just exceeding the limits every time.
What grade are you currently in, and what are your plans in terms of your tertiary education?
So I am currently in grade 11, and we're still checking the education as far as the sports go for after schools.
Interesting indeed. 15:15 Central African time. We are talking to Johan Haadbroek, who recently went to the Göteborg Youth Games in Sweden and came out a victor in the 400 meters hurdles discipline. And Johan, just winning this event, what does it mean to you, considering that you were not alone on the track, but you competed against competitive athletes from different parts of the world?
It was very unexpected. I thought the competition was going to be very hard, but when the race started, everything was just going my way. I was having a very good race, and the race just went my way the whole race long.
We are in the second half of the year. You are currently in grade 11. You will be gearing up for final exams in no time. Have you started preparing, or are you still getting there?
Now, I'm still getting there to the studying and preparing for the exams.
But we can count your name in the list of matriculants for 2026?
Yes, for sure.
Incredible indeed. Johan Haadbroek, who is a 400 meters hurdles athlete who was part of the Göteborg Youth Games in Sweden earlier this year. Johan, before I let you go, it is a Women's Month, the month of August. What special message would you like to share to women out there, including your mother?
So I would like to say to my mother, thank you very much, Mom. I love you so much, and thank you for always being there for me and always supporting me through everything I do. It's always nice to have someone to go to when you're sad or when you're down. And I think for all the women, just thank you for all the hard work you do and always supporting the men and everybody else in your life.
Johan Haasbroek, our teenager in sport, who is originally from Limpopo province, has been to the Göteborg Youth Games in Sweden and is looking forward to exciting events that are still coming up from September onwards. Johan, thank you so much for talking to us on Africa at Play. All the best moving forward.
Thank you for you too.
15:17 Central African time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play, the continent's best sport and music destination. We are live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African time. Let's update you with different sporting codes that are taking place on the African continent and globally. In the Zimbabwe Premier Soccer League, Bikita Minerals is up against Highlanders, while Dynamos versus Green Fuel. Manica Diamonds are up against MWOS, and there's more matches that will be coming up next week, Saturday onwards.